Guys, what is going on? I'm just excited because I feel like I'm back. We back in the studio. You know, like we are together, like drinking like we were like normal.
We got shots right now.
We have shots right now. Yes. We're excited to like bring some new content. We about to come out and hit y'all with some strong shit already. Like it's been a minute. I feel like we're just excited. I'm excited. Like, how y'all feeling? What's going on?
I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like we need to celebrate that we've survived a pandemic so far.
We made it through level 2 of Jumanji.
Right? Now we're entering the Hunger Games, so pray for us, right? Like, it's kind of like we go from one to the next.
Forever be in your favor.
A lot of shit going on right now. But yeah.
So should we take a quick shot to season 3?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Of the Pro Bitch Podcast.
Yes, episode 1.
Air
Cheers,
taps.
like an air tap. I can't get it. Okay. Cheers, bitches.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's some Crown Royal honey, and that shit is delicious. Like,
so good. So good.
It's good.
That is good. But anyways, y'all, I'm just excited. What's up? Everybody's good. How's everybody?
I feel like life is starting to feel a little normal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like even during, like, we're going to talk about it a little bit, but like even during quarantine, like we didn't have some shit happen for us. Like it's okay.
Actually, yeah, like it wasn't too bad.
No, it wasn't.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, okay.
For some of us.
That's not fair. You're right. We'll talk about it. But yeah.
I mean, so instead of our 30s moment, well, I guess this is kind of like our 30s moment, right? Just to touch base on some quarantine chronicles to kind of see what we've been up to during quarantine. So, I mean, what's been up, Izzy?
So, my quick quarantine, if I could summarize the last, what has it been, 4 fucking months now?
Yes.
Like, we're in July.
Almost 5. Yeah.
We're in halfway through July.
And I ain't twerked my ass yet.
It's so sad.
It is. It's tragic.
But, you know, like starting off, it was, you know, March, and I was working with the firm, and everything just like quickly transitioned to work from home, which was cool. Our firm, like I said, like, you know, successfully was able to transition a lot of people to work from home, and everything kind of just happened seamlessly, you know. But my sister was actually in Seattle, and y'all know, like in the beginning, Seattle had it really bad. Mm-hmm. So her job had already shut down. But that first week that it hit us, we were like, dog, the whole country is shutting down, and she didn't want to get stuck, you know, out there. So she stayed with us for 2 months. It was nice having her around for 2 months. But in the midst of all of that, I had started applying for jobs before all this shit hit, and I actually got a new job with the federal government.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, honey.
Levels, bitches. Levels.
Yes, like y'all know how stressed out I was all the time and always having, you know, a million projects. But now it's like literally virtually like no stress, and I got $20,000 pay increase.
I mean, yes.
So it's cool, you know, like the, I guess, trade-off is that I'm not doing like real design anymore, but you know, y'all know I have my little side projects going on. So, I mean, that's cool. But other than that, it's just been like, it's like certain shit you take for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to buy motherfucking toilet paper, paper towels.
That was a mess.
Yeah, that shit was ridiculous.
It was just like random shit that was like sold out, you know, like oil, and we had to celebrate how many birthdays the last couple of months and holidays, you know, have like really turned around. We didn't go to, all of us were supposed to go to Turks and Caicos for Mimi's birthday.
I'm still bitter. Still bitter. Like my insides, I'm still bitter.
And y'all know I just got my motherfucking money back. Like, what was
just
that?
Now?
Like a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I just got my money back like 3 weeks ago. Dead ass.
Yeah, see.
So much. You know,
much.
Yeah, we ended up doing like something for Mira's birthday, just like low key, but still, it's just like been really tough to like not experience summer the way that you're like supposed to be experiencing summer.
Right, for sure. Like I'm a bitch scared to go to the pool. They opened up the pool. I asked the lady, I was like, "Is people using the pool?" She was like, "No." I said, "Great," because then that means that I can go.
The one other positive thing that happened for me was that I was able to get a new car again. I got 0.5 interest, bruh. Like the first week we were in quarantine. So I ended up buying a new car, whatever. But like if you had money right now, like definitely that first couple of weeks of March was like time to definitely invest and shit like that. But Anyway, what about you, me? How's your life been?
So I was temporarily furloughed at the end of March, and unemployment was like a fucking nightmare.
I could only imagine.
I didn't get any kind of income until June, and it was like a week before I was supposed to go back to work. That's when I got it. But so I mean that was a little stressful, right? Like just not having any income. But my family was a big support. Which was helpful. So, like, we kind of just pulled together. And, my mom is like a doomsday, like, preparation person. So, like, when shit first started hitting the fan, like, she loaded me up with, like, 2 boxes of food, 40 rolls of toilet paper.
That's
like,
my mom.
She just had on
deck, right.
And I'm like, okay, like, I had, like, all of these cases of water, which, I mean, I didn't have to use any of it. But, and outside of that, like, we just kind of were a support to each other. So it wasn't that bad. It was just like the stress of not knowing, like, if I was going to go back to work. And so I did start looking for a job. And just when I started seeing some prospects, my job called to let me know that I could come back. And I was happy to go back just because some of the jobs I was looking at, I wouldn't be working for a health system anymore. It would be like an individual hospital. So my projects and my experiences would,
be confined.
Yeah, drastically, from a 47 hospital health system to one hospital. I wasn't really looking forward to it, but it was kind of like, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So I've been back to work almost 2 weeks now.
Look at God.
Yes. But in the meantime, I started working on my yoga teacher certification. So that kept me busy.
Yes.
And I feel all enlightened and all that other shit. So
you looking glowy and shit.
Yes. So I feel like I'm like 90% namaste, 10% I will fuck your shit up.
Yeah, but that's good.
That's a good, yeah.
Yeah, because we was about like what 70-30 before, like because you wasn't like too I'll fuck your shit up, but like when you got there, you was there.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like
you can't lose it,
right? And I've learned about a lot about myself too. So that was like really, really, and then it just occupied my time, honestly. So right now I'm working on my practice hours, and next month I'll be working on my teaching hours, so that the good old certification.
Good, because I need a coach.
Yes,
so.
ma'am. I got you.
Okay.
Teach you how to meditate and all that other shit.
Yeah, because I struggle with that.
Yeah, got you.
I meditate and be thinking about meditating. Like, what the fuck? It's a lot.
Did you just say I meditate and I think about meditating?
Yeah, like the fuck. Like, it just be so much. Like, I can't get in the, I can't. Like, I try. And then I fuck around and fall asleep. And then I'll be like, wait.
But that means that you actually, if you fall asleep during meditation, that is a successful meditation.
Well, good to know. Because I was like, wait, did I just miss the whole fucking point? Was I too high for this? Like, what happened?
I was going to say, I was actually about to ask you, were you high?
Yeah, but I mean, not like, because I don't feel like I get like high anymore. Crickets?
Oh, okay.
Fuck y'all. Shauna's drinking. She's about to spit fucking water.
I was about to spit coconut water all over John's table and his microphones. I had to really swallow that. Y'all know I don't use my throat a lot, so.
So much. Oh my gosh.
Okay, Cora. So what about you the last couple months? How has COVID and the coronavirus?
It shit got real for a minute. So, like, for real. So, I was at home. My last day of work was like March 13th, March 14th, something like that. Bro, I've been home ever since. It was really hectic for my job for a minute. Like, I feel like I helped set telehealth up across our health system. So, across our primary care, our specialists, people in the hospital. I mean, it was hectic as shit for a minute. Like, I literally felt like we didn't sleep. As quick as we laid down to like get some rest, we were up like putting out other fires because people were like panicking. It was crazy. But I will say, working for the health system that I work for is great because, like, number one, they just be like, they was on it. Like, they was on it. We were one of the first hospitals in the state to set up the drive-through, like, clinics that was underneath our health system. Just a lot of stuff. So I will say that my resume grew professionally, tremendously during the quarantine. Like, praise God for that. Like, I could literally probably have a one page just off of this job.
Yeah.
yes, my boss is amazing. She be trying to set us up for success all the time. So she's almost like super pushy and like a go-getter, but like, and it's exhausting. But like once you sit back and you look, you be like, okay, right? Yeah. So then you earn like an appreciation for her, the drive and shit that she has. So that's been like really exciting. I did have to like learn some work-life balance. So I was practicing more on my makeup in the process. That was my way of kind of like separating and trying to like completely do two different realms, right? Because a lot of people were like, oh, you know, if you don't come out of quarantine with fuck them. Right, you know, like a craft or a trade or whatever. And I'm like, fuck out of here. Like, I feel like even if people like somebody like me who was always running, like if I was just able to sit the fuck down for a minute, like I feel like that was successful for me, right? So I was able to focus on something that could potentially build me revenue, but also, you know what I'm saying, like something that I like to do in the process. So I worked on that a little bit. I became like more health conscious for sure. I mean, not now. That was like 4 months ago. I mean, I am, but you know, that shit was rough because you get tired of cooking every fucking day and then you're home all the time.
And so you get tired of cleaning doing the damn dishes.
Every day, every meal, multiple times a day. Like I was just burnt out, I think, after 3 months of that. So I did start like, you know, picking up food and like telling them to drop that shit at the door, you know, shit like that. But just definitely trying to get back into it. I grew like, you know, a couple of different business ventures. So I work for like, you know, I'm doing like Total Life Changes, which I actually use the products. I love it. Lost some weight there, doing my makeup. You know, like got my little personal life together a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited. Like, I'm excited. Let a lot of shit go. Gained a lot of shit in the process.
There you go.
Quarantine was good to me. I can't complain.
I feel like we've all found some kind of way to make it work for us.
Yeah.
You know, and grew in some kind of way.
Oh, so most definitely.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's good shit.
For sure.
Okay. All right, y'all. So when we get back, I feel like we gonna talk about these motherfucking entanglements. Okay, we're gonna have a discussion.
That's the new word on the internet these days.
On the internet, right? Like for real, dead ass. We're gonna talk about entanglements. Like, what the fuck is an entanglement? A little bit like deep conversation about kind of what happened in that situation, like how we feel about it. I think we have similar viewpoints about some of the shit that was the messiness of this.
And then, I mean, we're not even just going to dive into somebody else's bullshit.
We're going to tap into our own.
Right. We wouldn't be us if we didn't tap into our own shit. So,
so we're going to talk about our own entanglements and shit. We'll be back.
Yep.
All right, y'all. So welcome back. Welcome back. As y'all know, we already had told y'all we were about to be talking about these entanglements. So we're about to just open up the episode with Jada and Will's conversation from the Red Table Talk about, you know, what is really happening and what's going on. So
I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker, which he's not.
I think so. I mean, because this is your red table and you like brought yourself to the red table. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space and what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
Okay, so part number one that I feel like that we need to address. Kudos to Will for being like, bitch, a relationship? Like, what the fuck is an entanglement? Like, you're not about to make that, like, sound lesser than what it was.
But I think his facial expression was, like, what really set it off. Because he was like, bitch, please.
He's like, what? Right? So, I mean, I don't know. What y'all think? Like, how y'all feel about it? Because I have my own thoughts, but, like, how do y'all feel about it?
Okay, so I know we kind of talked about this a little bit before, but, like, she really is not accepting responsibility for what the fuck it is. Like, she's dancing around the fucking subject.
Right.
An entanglement, like,
like
what the fuck does that mean? Like, that just sounds messy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not really I guess, like, for me, it's like, why won't you call it what it is?
Right.
A relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A situationship. Or whatever the fuck it is. Like, you were fucking your son's friend.
Period.
Point blank, period.
The end. Who also had some mental issues and was going through some shit and came to y'all for some help, but I digress.
And you broke his motherfucking heart.
And he comes on TV talking about if he ain't never loved ever again, or if he never love again, he just happy that he loved. Like, bitch, you fucked him up.
So, like, yeah, but I think she's lying to herself. And yes. I don't know if she's lying to herself, to Will, to the public, whatever it is. But by her calling it an entanglement, for me, it's like she's, like you said, trying to downplay or minimize the situation.
Absolutely. What you think, Mimi?
So when you listen to the full clip, Will talks about how this is something that they've worked through already. Mm-hmm. And including having to work through the shit that she was going through in order for her to even involve herself with August Alsina. And she mentions about, you know, her codependency and, you know, feeling the need to help someone else in order to avoid her own shit. And I'm just going to tell you in my journey to be a yogi, that is one thing that I have learned, is that typically when we're supposed to support each other through life, but when we involve ourselves in someone's life and trying to fix them, it is a very clear sign that deep down, I'm not trying to address my shit, so I'm going to involve myself in your shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, like, I honestly don't feel like, I mean, I applaud them for addressing it publicly, but if y'all worked it out between y'all, it's nobody else's fucking business, honestly.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it was predatory on her part to even get involved with him, because he was going through shit. He was already broken. And
then
to avoid dealing,
ass.
Right, you took your broken ass because you don't want to deal with your shit.
Right.
And preyed on this young man. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, his brain wasn't even fully developed.
No, because how long ago was this? Was he kissing on? Was we talking about kissing on tattoos? Was he talking about Jada? Are we that far back? Like first album? Are we like where are we with this? Because I that's the other thing too.
Yeah, like
I'm sure it was like after he went through some things, right? But
yeah, like he came to them broken, and then she started dealing with him. So like I feel like it was predatory in that sense. You know what I mean? She
saw that dick. He got out the shower, and that's what happened. She was like, "What? Oh, you was a grown man."
But I mean, like, she's Jada. I mean, like, she's beautiful. Her body's amazing, and you got money. You could have fucked with anybody else.
Yeah.
And so that you decided to take this broken person and fuck with this broken person. Tells you what her emotional and mental state was, and it's just not okay.
Right.
You know? But fuck everybody else. If they work through it, I really just feel like them talking to the public about it, I mean, it's an extra step.
Right. And like, let's be real, you know, they had an open relationship in the first place. We all know their relationship was like kind of weird and bizarre anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that they probably did work through it. But my whole issue is like what you said about her and as the person. So you bring all these people on the Red Table Talk, right? Like you're the healer, right? The table is the healing space. Yeah. And you had to bring yourself to the Red Table to have this conversation about it, right? So like, I remember a year ago where he was on the show.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how Will and Jada brought him in and how, you know, he had all these, you know, things going on in his life. How did you end up fucking him? That's where I am just like thinking, and I'm thinking like,
that's where the disconnect is for you.
For me, right? Yeah. Like, because I get it, right? You brought him in. That was somebody that obviously he was around your son and your daughter. So you had seen him, you watched him develop into this star that he was, right? You were like a motherly figure to him. How the fuck did you end up with that? Like so I lost a lot of like the respect that I had for her. It definitely like, and I hate to do that because I don't like to do that with black women, but I feel like that was just so predatory to me. Like I can't get past that. And I'm not even saying that because why did y'all even feel the need to bring him in and help him anyway? Like I don't know, right? I don't know, but I mean, was it like a plot all along? Was like you and Will together on it because y'all know their relationship is weird? Like, because that's where my mind went. Like y'all knew about this shit. Like everybody knew it. Everybody was probably fucking everybody. And now August got his feelings hurt because he got feelings for Jada, and she on some shit like no, young man, I'm still married.
Well, so I don't think it was predatory. I don't think there was a huge plot to bring him in so that she could do that. But I do think that it was, and they helped him from a genuine place.
Yeah.
But again, people create a lot of like delusion around their bullshit in order to avoid dealing with their shit. And he ended up being a victim of her shit.
A victim.
Like real talk. Now, like,
that's the word.
I guess because I feel like even people that are quote unquote healers, they have their shit. Like I feel like you become
Yeah.
a healer because you've worked through some shit. So
Right.
I haven't lost any respect for her necessarily, because I'm like, I feel like where I lose the respect is that if she's dancing around it and not calling a spade a spade.
Yeah, because he was grown.
Right. Not the fact that she did it, but just accept ownership around the fact that you did it.
Right.
And I feel like that's where my respect starts to wane. Like, sis, just call it what it is.
See,
And
I
you
just
did what
look
you
at it like
did.
she's a mother. Like, what does that, not that that's a bad thing, but what does that look like for your son as like, that's his friend? Is that weird? Like, and I know I'm thinking like I'm off tangent, but I'm just like, what the fuck was going on there?
I mean, that's what I'm like. I kind of agree with you, and to the point where it's like, how did you get to that point? Because it's not like, you know what I'm saying, they met at a party, or like, you know what I'm saying, they went off, they did them, or they started talking, like, you know, because they hooked up at a party, whatever it is. You know, like you meet somebody, y'all talk, things go to the next step, like whatever it is. Like, that's not how it happened.
No.
Like, you know, he was in your house, you guys were helping him work through his stuff. Like, you know, he was having like real mental, you know, health issues. And like, you end up fucking him and
Which makes
making
him
him
worse.
fall in love with you. And it's just, like, there's like, how does that even happen in the house?
Yeah.
And you never know. Like, maybe he wasn't physically in their house, but if they're seeing him, you know, multiple times a day, or seeing him often, or whatever it is, it's just.
So like when they explained it when they started talking about it, and it makes me wonder too, like, did you get involved with him after you and Will were like, nah, I'm done? Or did it start to get a little sketchy even before then? I do wonder about that. But when they talk about it in the Red Table Talk, it's like they separated and she ends up dealing with August. But my thing is, like, I think that with August, if you're a broken person and someone helps you, like, sometimes you have a tendency to kind of fall in love with
Oh,
your
for sure.
failures.
For
You know what I mean?
sure.
And I do feel like a lot of that was happening, but it was her job to say, you know what? No.
Exactly.
Draw the line. But because your ass is broken,
Right,
and you're
you
not
just
dealing
hopped
with
on the
your
dick.
shit, you're like, oh, well, we could heal each other.
Like, let me just hop on a dick real quick. I'm telling you, that's probably what happened.
I
He
can
probably
heal
walked. He
you
probably
and
walked
you
out the
can heal
bathroom.
me. This interchange of energy, we can heal each other by me riding your dick.
Yeah,
I
right.
feel like that's what.
Probably.
Yeah, because you know, I
She
swear, I think
convinced
she's a little
herself
weird
that-
anyway.
She convinced herself that it was okay.
Yeah.
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 So let's talk about our own
Yeah, so like,
entanglements.
yeah, so like,
Shall we?
How would we define entanglements based on Jada's?
Messy. I don't even know how to explain it. I just see like a web of like messy bullshit, and it's got
Like
entanglement.
like
on
the
top of it.
yarn is just like when the yarn unravels and it's just all like
Over the place?
all over the place,
Yeah.
and you don't know how you got there. You don't know how to get out.
Yeah.
You don't know how to like make sense of none of it, but you just know it's messy as fuck, and
And it feel good to an extent. That's why you so tangled
But
up.
you know
right?
that
but
it's
you know it's
fucked
wrong.
up.
Right.
Yeah. Now, so our Urban Dictionary would define it as a romantic or sexual relationship between two people, especially if someone is in a relationship or married.
that was a
Well,
lot.
that was a lot, and that was
It
great
sound like
that
a
you just.
commercial, right?
But you just rattled that off. Can we have a hand clap for that? Because that was like really good. Like I feel like we need to like, yeah. Like that was good. That was good. With a T. Good. Anyways,
So have we all had entanglements?
wait a minute. Can you repeat that one more time? though? I'm
the
impressed.
definition?
Yes, because that was you just.
Oh,
I wish I
did.
could
Like,
see
now
you.
it's pressure, so I don't know if I can.
Oh damn.
It's pressure. It just came out.
It did. Well, don't be pressured. And at the end, repeat that shit because that was great. Anyways, yes.
Entanglements.
Have we? We've all been there.
Oh fuck yeah! I just got out of one like a year ago. Man. I literally posted on my Facebook. I was like, wait, so all these fucking years, that's what it was called? A fucking entanglement. I was like, well, I'll be damned.
Well, Court, what was? You can give us a snapshot, just a.
It's a little synopsis. Okay, so I had met this guy. I was really, really young when I met him. We both were dating other people. We were friends first. It was great. We was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was some old, like, fine ass, like, get money type. You know, y'all know. So, at the time, I was out, like, being young, doing the most. And we were really friends first. Like, we were cool. We would go shopping and, like, all these places. Like, it was cool. It was nothing. About a year later, we ended up, like, crossing that line. We had knew each other, but we still were in, like, relationships, right? Like, I had somebody, and then he had somebody. Oh, we be telling all on our fucking self on the show, don't we? God damn. Sheesh. But anyways, that shit old. But yeah, so, you know, it just developed over the years. And I'm not going to lie, like, I looked at the time when I met him, I think I was 21. When I actually got out of this, like, entanglement, like, bitch, I was 30. I'm 32 now. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I did have to have that conversation with myself. Like, how the fuck did you get here? And it's not even about the entanglement with him. It was like the entanglement of the shit that I had going on in my life.
Mm-hmm. Because of him.
Because of him. Like, he was the fork and the fucking spaghetti that just kept tangling that shit up and tangling it up. And, like, once I, like, pulled his ass out of it, I was able to, you know what I'm saying, really sort through that. But, like, literally, like, that was literally, like, the analogy that I felt like. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just constantly kept, like, swirling shit around in my fucking life. So I would get it straight, and then it would shift. And it was, you know, whether it was in and out of jail or whether it was, you know, some of the financial struggle. And don't get me wrong, him and I did not decide to actually get into a relationship with one another until after I moved here. Right? So it was really a fucking entanglement because we were doing all this shit and wasn't even, like, together. Like, we was doing our one, too. But, like, how the fuck we end up here with all of this? Right? So, yeah, brief synopsis.
Did you learn anything?
I got a book. Yes, so I did. I feel like, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I feel like because I'm so over it, that it's really hard for me to, like, go back and, like, rehash a lot of it because it's so something that I just don't give a fuck about, like, anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that I don't give a fuck about it because it did, like, put me in a place to be, like, kind of who I am today.
Just over it.
But yeah, so it was like, you know, trying to come up with these, it was hard. Like, 3 things, lessons learned was hard for me. Because I just feel like I have developed them. But anyway, so number 1, believe shit the first time. Like, when a person show you who they are, and I'm not talking about the catty shit, like, in the streets about this person. Because people will do that in your relationship.
But the shit that your gut is telling you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel like, listen, ladies, stop ignoring your fucking intuition. That shit could have saved my life so many times and saved the space that I was in. So, you know, that's number 1. Number 2, keep shit in perspective. If you're going to be in a fucking entanglement, don't be the August in the situation. Like, dead ass. Like, dead ass. If you're going to be in an entanglement, do not end up the August. Because, see, everybody was tripping because everybody was like, oh, nobody's saying nothing about Jada. No. Because if it was a man, they would have nailed his ass to a cross. It would have been all this, oh, he was young and it was this and it was that, blah, 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 right? But no. It's the same predatory fucking behavior. It's just the fact that normally in this situation, ladies, it's us. We're the ones who have to make that decision whether or not we fucking with these married men or fucking with these men who have relationships and shit because we think that we can handle it. But we have hearts, y'all. We soft, period. So at the heart, and as a woman, now that where I'm at, like, you don't want to be hardened all the time. That's not... You know what I'm saying? But that ain't the nigga to be
better.
Exactly. But that ain't the nigga to be soft with. So when you decide to, like, start, like, when you getting a little feeling for it, go ahead and cut that shit off. It's gonna hurt now, but it's gonna hurt way fucking more in the long run. Keep that shit in perspective. And then number 3, I guess it kind of all goes in together. Don't do it. Like, as a 32-year-old woman talking to my younger self, don't do it. It's not worth it for what? Because we at that age, when you're younger, even at 25 compared to the age that we are now, we're looking at completely different things in men, right? Like, my friend is at a great entanglement because they don't want a lot from each other, right? He's not married anymore. They're divorced and separated, but that did not mean that they were getting together. That's not what that meant. Yeah. Right? They still got their own place. He still does for her this and that. Her entanglement, they got a good understanding, right? Most of us don't have that. We don't, and it gets blurry. So I recommend don't do it, but if you do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, set your parameters and stick to them.
Don't be an August.
Or just don't be wavering on the fucking fence. Plant your feet, bitch. Like, don't be, like, wavering in the wind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like one of them fucking things at a used car lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, figure that shit out. Be sturdy about your shit. Don't allow the person. And if the man is catching feelings, cut his ass off. Yeah. Because they get messy, too.
Yep.
right?
Because they get crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
because now
that's
you're
very
not
true.
giving this attention that they normally are used to from you or whatever. Like that gets messy too. So those would definitely be my 3 things. The main thing, bitch, don't be the August. If you gonna do the shit, don't do it. But if you do it, don't be the August. Period. I'm done.
Today's takeaway: don't be the August.
Like, don't be an August, bitch. You are better than an August. You are not an August, okay?
Who's up next?
Go ahead, Izzy.
Nah, man.
No, man.
Oh, you don't want.
Okay, so I had an entanglement. Again, like Court said, we were friends.
Right, that's how it always
That's how
starts.
shit always starts.
Boom.
But like, so basically, I met this dude. I lived in a neighborhood, and I was walking the dog one day. I met him, and he like texted me or whatever. He was like, you know, I do hair or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay. So I low key thought he was gay, and so we exchanged numbers so I could get my hair done. And he did my hair, and then while he was doing my hair, his girlfriend came upstairs.
Shit.
And so clearly he wasn't gay. He was fine as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all know I stay with the fine ones.
Yeah, she really do.
But so I was like, oh, okay. But he's one of those people that where y'all know I'm very standoffish, like antisocial, but he made a point to be my friend. He's texting me every day, like doing really nice things for me because we lived in the same neighborhood. Like I'd come home and my grass was cut, you know, like just like really building like a bond and a
Absolutely.
relationship and all that kind of stuff. And so eventually, I mean, a couple months, into the situation, I went over his house like for a movie night or whatever, and you know, shit popped off, and I was like, "Oh,
Fucking movie night.
Netflix
Bitch
and
went to
chill.
go get some dick. Let's
That's
go.
what happened.
no!" I had no intention of ever smashing this dude.
Yeah, that's how I felt about my entanglement too.
but like then after that, I was like, "Oh, it's right around the corner. I can walk down the street and get some A1. Okay, I'm with the shits." So this went on for a couple of months. Mind you, he's a photographer. You know, I know about photography. He's like bringing me into his businesses, and you know, we're like brainstorming, doing photo shoots together. His girlfriend's doing the makeup. I'm the production and lighting assistant.
oh God.
Like, you want to talk about a motherfucking entanglement?
Damn.
Like, so it's me, him, his girlfriend, the model. My sister is doing like wardrobe styling, like all this shit. Like, the shit is messy and as fuck. Okay, and like, it just was funny to me how he could just sit there and have, you know, his bitch and his side piece, you know what I'm saying, like working for him and stuff.
Oh, I know that feeling. That shit's crazy.
So 2 things that really did it for me in the situation was like, one, so he had this like real sense of entitlement, right? One night I went on a date, I didn't come home, and I didn't text him because I was out getting some head. Like, what the fuck? I'm not texting you while some niggas eating my box.
Right.
So
I mean, I might have, depending on the situation.
But, you know, I get home at like 5 a.m. and at 6:30, he's banging on my door. Oh, talking about I texted you all last night. You never texted me back. And I know that you didn't get home until after you just got home because I drove past your house at 3 or 4 and your car wasn't here.
The audacity
Of these men.
Oh.
So we're arguing at 6:30 in the morning. My roommate comes out, was like, yo, can y'all take that shit somewhere else? Because it's Saturday and it's early. But so like more like situations like that were happening, like more often than not. And then it was kind of a mix of like, then I became his best friend. So his girlfriend knew about me and being his best friend and all this other shit. There was 2 things nailing the coffin for me, and I'm trying to like wrap this shit up because this shit went on for like a year and a half. But his girlfriend cheated on him. This man had the fucking balls to come to my house
And cry to you about
and
it.
sit at my kitchen table and cry his motherfucking eyeballs out.
I'd have dropped
I never told you about that.
You never told me he cried.
Like, when I mean cried, he's a Cancer. You know he cried. Like, cried his heart out. Was like, I can't believe she would do this. I would die for her. I would put myself in front of a bullet for her. I would lay down on the train tracks for her. That's how my face looked.
Mind y'all, my chin is on the fucking table.
That's the face that I had. And I'm sitting here like, excuse me, sir.
Like, hello.
We were just fucking like a couple days ago. You wrote a song. He was like very creative, did poetry, music, all this shit. Nigga wrote a song about us fucking in the hallway. But you crying because your girlfriend fucked some dude. Oh, okay. So after that, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. Like, and we ended up having a huge blowout. We're not really cool anymore. He still talks to my mom on Facebook, but like we're not cool because he was super petty and I just wasn't with the shits anymore.
Like, how you a petty bitch and you the problem with the entanglement? Like, I'm so confused. Like, the audacity again.
So, yeah, that part. So my lessons learned were, it was just like general red flags. Like, he didn't have any other male friends. And I feel like men that don't have male friends and they only have either female friends or their girlfriend is their life or whatever it is, like that's a big red flag for me.
That's real.
Like I could never have a male friend or a boyfriend like that. He always seemed to be like he was beefing with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like he always had these falling outs with people and like he would tell me like stories and scenarios and shit and like, and you know, now in retrospect, it's like the common denominator is you, bitch.
Yeah. Cancer
you know,
ass.
Cancer motherfucker. I said that was like my first taste of like cancers and their pettiness.
Like dead ass.
I'm done with cancers. I learned that like niggas really can't handle when their girl like turns the tables on them.
Yeah.
Like you sitting up here fucking me the entire time, you know, and got me kikiing in your girlfriend's face, but then she goes and fucks some other dude and you over here literally crying about it.
Like in tears.
In tears.
That happened in my entanglement too.
The audacity of these niggas is what I wrote.
But like this for real, but like literally though, because that yeah, and then you sitting there looking at them like,
literally,
what?
I'm sitting here looking at the kitchen table like this is not real right now. And I even said, I was like, so not to be fucked up, but like,
hello.
I mean, you're the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
And he like lost his shit.
Yeah, like they act like they just did nothing wrong. Like what the fuck?
This is that's different.
Like is it?
How are you and I fucking different? Because you're my best friend, because you say that I love you and all this other shit. Like it was so bad to the point with like him and his mom his girlfriend and his mom didn't get along. I would go visit his mom with him. His family knew me more than they knew his girlfriend. Like people would be like, oh my God, you guys are such a great couple. Like the energy between you is amazing. And we would have to be like, skirt, we're just friends. You know, like it was just so weird. But like, I mean, kind of like what Court said, like that was the last time that I was like, I'm gonna be a side piece. Like I'm not being a side piece, like no more. Like, and the thing was, I didn't even really get, like, there were times where, like, I felt like I was constantly getting my feelings hurt. Like, he played this, like, ping pong game of, like, it was like I was on a pedestal and she was on a pedestal, but then she was more important and then I was more important.
Yeah,
and then
fucking
it was
with your self-esteem and shit.
constantly, like, manipulating people and, like, you know, feeling like it's just, like, the feeling of being someone's side piece was just not a good feeling in the end. You know?
It's not. It's not. And then you look at it from her point of view too, like it drove her all the way to that. Like she knew. She felt that shit in her gut when she saw y'all. So it's like when women cheat, it's like so many lessons in these entanglements, right? Like cause when women cheat, she was obviously pushed to that point because you got your side bitch all up in my face all the time.
Right.
So I'm gonna go do something that makes me feel good. Like that same shit that's so funny because I feel like that's a common denominator of entanglements too, is that they be trying to bring everybody around. Like everybody be trying to
make
be cool.
it not seem
like
what it really is.
Right. Like, oh, that's my best friend, girl. I was this nigga's best friend for like 11 years. Then the next thing she know, he living with me.
Right.
We dating. Like the fuck? Right. Like, anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry, I digress.
So, it was like so the last one for me was like, don't fuck your friends. If you want to be friends with somebody, like be friends. Like don't cross that motherfucking line. Especially like at this age, I can discern whether or not, you know what I'm saying, like somebody is for me and if they're not. Right. Like,
ooh,
so
that's real.
Don't fuck your friends. Like just keep that shit strictly platonic. Like, yeah, maybe you could be flirty and maybe there is some energy between you, but I guarantee you if you fuck them, it's not gonna go the way you think it is.
Nope. It never does.
Yeah, and no more side piece. Like I can't be a side bitch. Like,
yeah,
I'm
that's
too bad
totally
for
not
that.
my thing.
I'm
What?
a bad bitch.
That's
like,
what I was like. What
no.
the fuck? I look like take a second to somebody. Are you serious? Like you guessed it. Look, okay, Mimi.
Ooh,
drum roll.
We know she got some gems.
So I was gonna say, but this bitch got some gems too, because it don't even feel. They didn't even feel like it at first, and then it was just like, what the fuck?
So I'll talk about the longest one.
Okay.
And the crazy thing is, I recently was propositioned by this person to take the role of a side piece.
Oh.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that
almost
one,
forgot.
right, started out as a friend, right? Started out as a friend, and I was the one that was already involved. And this person told me that they loved me and they had feelings for me, and I couldn't reciprocate that because I was already involved. So there was a lot of like animosity between us because I wasn't reciprocating what it was that he wanted. I was more so bummed to lose the friendship. I mean, like, the dick was amazing. Okay, right. But it was like, more so I was bummed about losing the friendship. But once my situation was over, we were kind of like hot and cold off and on for quite a few years. But I did find that when I would end up in another relationship, there was an expectation for me to cheat with him because he cheated with me when he was in a relationship, and I wouldn't do it. So
the entitlement.
Yeah, that was, and I mean, I get the logic behind it. Like, well, I mean, I was fucking with you when I was with somebody, so why wouldn't you?
Or it was like he was here first type shit too.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
so
niggas are possessive when it comes to that
so
type of stuff.
it was. Yeah, I mean, like, it didn't end badly because it hasn't ended, but technically it hasn't ended. It's just been off and on. And I mean, it is like an internal struggle because, like, I know it's wrong, right? And it's not something that I want. Like, I've done all of this, and I think I talked to you guys about it. Like, I've done all of this kumbaya shit, and then for me to fall for the okie doke. But, like, my internal struggle is like, but he does all the things.
Like, all the things.
He feeds into all my fetishes. Like, that's hard to come by. I'm not even, like...
That's real, though.
It was a phone call, like, hey, I got some new toys. Want to come get tied up? He's like, okay.
And you need that in your soul. Like, that is...
But it's wrong as fuck. Like, I know it's wrong. So I still struggle with that. And I'm like, am I going to be selfish and get all the things that I want? Or am I going to be this better person? So, like, it's still a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in all honesty, emotionally, I don't think I'm where he is still.
Like, what you mean?
I just don't feel like I'm as attached.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, it's like I care about you, but... I can't, even if he didn't have a relationship, I can't say that I could be with him.
Yeah.
Whereas he feels like he could.
Really, though? Because I feel like if that was the case, he would be trying to do that more with you. I think he know how you feel for real. I think
like, honestly, I feel like like,
but that's probably why he hasn't pushed the issue.
Yes.
So, I mean... And
because she don't really like. I'm a thing for niggas be knowing. They be knowing when you the thing.
Like, yeah, he does all the things, but I do consider him a good friend. But like, there's a fine line between a good friend and you do all the things, and you're the person I want to be with.
Honey.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, you meet needs,
yeah,
but you don't meet all the needs. So I'm not thinking.
And then you meet needs that. Like, you have more primary needs than the needs that he meets?
Yeah, like right now.
Or the things that he
the needs.
Okay.
Yeah, like the needs that he meets. I mean, like, so, like, if I had to make the decision between my fetishes and having a whole healthy relationship, I mean, like, I would choose a whole healthy relationship.
Got
so
you.
It's like the needs that he meets, you're right, they are secondary. But I don't know if I'm going to just let him do all the things. I'm not even going to lie. And it's fucked up. And I already know it's fucked up. Like, I don't try to sugarcoat that. I mean, I have grown more than this. I know better, but I still am considering doing it.
Well, okay, can I, like...
Yeah.
How long has he been with this girl?
2 years.
Where the fuck you going with this, Ashana?
I'm just saying, like, how serious is... But the thing, okay.
But that's not for me to determine.
That's fair.
That's fair, okay.
But at the same time, I know this... I shouldn't be saying this because I know this is... Like, you aren't the first and you aren't the last. Like, I had another entanglement where he was married or whatever, and I was like, no, fuck it, it's fucked up. I don't want that karma, right? And then I turned around and saw all the other shit he was doing. And I was like, well, shit, I ain't the first. And I'm definitely not going to be the last.
Right.
So,
honestly, that's some real shit.
And here we are 12 years later. And he done got 2 girls pregnant on his wife.
Oh, God.
So, and I stopped messing with him just because, like, he was just real messy. Yeah. But, like, I'm just I'm enabling right now.
And she always does.
That's why I asked her, where are you going with this, Ashana?
I'm just saying, like, you probably weren't the first in the last 2 years. Sure. And
I absolutely was not. Like, we have these open conversations about, you know, the people that we've been with. Like, that's his thing. That's a turn on for him. He wants to hear about.
What?
Yeah. So, like, we have this transparency and this open dialogue. So, I know I'm not the first and won't be the last while he's in this relationship. But at the same time, that doesn't mean I should take it upon myself to still involve myself in a messy situation. Like, I'm looking at it from a perspective of me. Like, is this really what I need to be doing? And not only that, but that gets into my lesson, so we're not gonna go there into. I'll share that later. But I wasn't another one. I was actually in a relationship for 3 years, but it was like when we would break up, he would like immediately get involved with somebody else because he was homosexual. Mm-hmm. But we would still deal with each other while he was in another relationship. Like, this nigga was like sneaking in my back door.
With a man that you were previously in a relationship with.
It was like
the look on my face. I'm like,
sneaking in my back door.
It'd be like that.
He would want to come over, but she had a feeling, right? And it was crazy because when he started dealing with, this is so fucked up. When he started dealing with her, we weren't like over. So I ended up having a conversation with her. So she knew, like, when he wouldn't come home, like, she would drive around looking for him. And like, if he would come over, he would park his car like 2 blocks over and walk, so that if she happened to drive by.
That's so dangerous, though.
It really was. And
the audacity.
Yeah, and then so that happened quite a couple times. I think it happened twice. And then like he would come back, and I was dumb enough to let him come back. And then another situation, like, he was dealing with another chick. And so when that was done with, she was like, I want my money back. Like, she actually approached me in a bar and was like, he asked me for money, And I was like, what? Oh, what you want me to do about that? And he said to her, she said to him, she was like, well, why didn't you just ask her for it? And I was like, because I'm not dumb enough to give it to him. Like, it was... So I always felt myself butting heads with these other women that when we were broken up, he would be with, and then I would cheat with him. And then it was...
I'm sorry, you can laugh about it now.
Yeah, but it's just a lot.
At the time, it was like really dramatic.
Yeah,
it was so like,
it was so draining.
It was draining. It was dramatic. It never, like, it was always fucking something with him.
Always.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally like, when I would come home, it was like, or when my phone would ring, it would be like, what is it now?
Like, what do you want?
You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, I have others, but like, and I found like when we were talking about this and I had to come up with my entanglements, I was like, damn, bitch, what do you be doing?
Right. Like, it's a lot.
What am I doing? So, I mean, like, honestly, I would say my lessons that I would take away when you're involved in an entanglement, when you're the single person in the entanglement, you're settling. Point blank, period. You're settling.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, all the way around, you're just settling for bullshit. Like,
that's real.
You're being lazy, or you don't think enough of yourself to want more.
That's
real.
Or
you think that you deserve more. Like, all the way around, just, I mean, don't settle. Like, you deserve more than half of a man.
Yeah.
Secondly, I would say it's also, if you are the person that's in a relationship and you have a side piece, it's selfish. Because if that person does develop feelings, like, come on.
Then what? Right. And
right.
Well, I never meant to hurt you. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
right.
then, like,
that's
in
right.
all honesty, if your relationship sucks that much that you need to supplement it, you need to remove yourself from that relationship or decide to work on the relationship. Because I feel like at that point, you're straddling the fence.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to make you got like this 80% over here, but you're like, oh, I'm going to go over here and get this 20 because I want a whole 100%.
Right.
But when you think about it, you're not giving your partner even 80% of yourself because you're out here entertaining the bullshit.
And then what are you lacking that, like, that you want all this 100%, but are you 100%?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just complete
Facts.
selfishness. And speaking of that, I just want to say, like, you have to fix yourself.
Yeah.
Because involving yourself
Ooh.
and getting all messy with this other person, you're avoiding the issues that you have going on. Just like with Jada, she was completely avoiding her own bullshit. So, I mean, like, even if you have to step away from your relationship or you have to step away from your entanglement, you need to fix yourself, because once you go through the healing, you'll realize that you don't deserve this. And if you're the person that's in a relationship, your partner doesn't deserve it.
That's right.
Like, at the end, like, if your partner is so fucking bad or they've done such horrible things, why aren't you leaving them? Like, real shit.
That's true.
If you aren't happy or your needs aren't being met, why aren't you leaving? And I've had someone say to me before, well, what if you don't find what it is that you want? So shouldn't you
So
just
you
go
stay?
So you settle?
Why
The
do I feel
fuck?
like I know where the fuck that came from? No?
I
Would
don't know,
I
you might.
would I know?
I mean, you might.
Maybe. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that
But,
just
like,
sounds familiar.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have that fear anymore. What if you don't find what you want? Well, then you'll be happy by yourself.
Right. And that's the main thing. And that's the main
But
thing.
that's the goal, though, too, is to have the ability to be happy with yourself. And a lot of people aren't. There, like, we've talked about this before. Like, there are men out there and women that will be in a relationship just to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As a go-between, as an in-between. In the meantime, with the intention, like you said, of finding what they want. It's like, okay, I'm going to be with this person, do what I want until I find what I want. But you're not being fair to yourself or that other person.
Exactly. And can you really find what you truly want if you're not like all the way 100% open to do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even in the space that I'm in currently right now, like, one of the most important things that he said to me was, he was like, you don't need shit from me and I don't need shit from you. Like, that's what makes, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
we
what
didn't
makes
kind
it
of,
so good.
right. And he's like, we didn't kind of been through all the bad shit. Like, the fuck? Like, I feel
And
like we
you're
know
a
how to
whole
navigate
person.
that now. Right.
You're a whole person walking into another situation.
Exactly.
So you don't need each other.
Exactly.
It's literally just anything that they bring to your life is extra.
Exactly. And it's a bonus, like a benefit, because otherwise I'm good.
Yeah. So, like, I know, like, with my deliberation, I'm just being fucking selfish and I'm being greedy.
But I mean, you know that.
One
First
takes
step.
all the things.
But that's first step in the,
Yeah. But is that going to deter me from tying a nigga to my bed and doing what I want? I don't know.
No.
I don't
But
know.
I think now, like, you've grown and you have, like, boundaries and shit. And, like, you...
yeah. Because
you
if
know
it was
what I'm
left up to him, it would be like, oh, like, you would be in an even deeper entanglement, like times 10. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, ladies, this was good. Oh, this was good for episode 1. I like it.
Yes.
I like it. I like it.
Yes.
So,
I don't know. So, I mean, you know, take our jewels of advice, right? Fix yourself. Don't settle. What else? Well, let's
Just
recap.
don't do it.
just don't fucking do it. And if you do
And
do
don't
it, like, don't be the fucking August.
Yes. Don't be an August, bitches.
Like, set your own fucking boundaries, ladies, and stick to them. Boundaries don't move. Think about that.
you
Brick
go.
boundaries don't move,
there you
dog.
go.
Till next time.
All right, bitches.
All right.